Hello everyone. Spring has finally come where I live, and our pond is now teeming with wildlife. I'm so very grateful. And today I'm answering the top 10 questions I've received from you about slowing down your life and living more simply, including the question, how do you live a slow life when you work a full-time job? Which I answer at the end of this video. It's hard to believe, but it's been almost a year to the day since I was standing out on my deck, on the phone, with shaky hands, making the choice to take my life back and to step away from the hustle, constant stress and burnout that is often the status quo. I'll be honest with you, that changing my lifestyle hasn't been completely easy and has been a work in progress of readjusting. But I'll also tell you that it's been so very worth it for my overall well-being.
So the first question is it even possible to slow down without falling behind in a society that rewards hustle? And the answer is yes and no.
Slowing down sometimes does mean stepping away from what the world calls success. But I've found the real danger is not falling behind on society's timeline, but falling behind on your soul's. For example, when I was trying to meet society's timeline, I always felt a hollowness, like I was losing myself somehow. Today, I'm so much more grounded in who I actually am, and it's definitely a process. When we stop constantly racing, we often discover a more meaningful, sustainable path, one rooted in authenticity and not just achievement.
Number 2, can slow living be accessible for people who live in urban areas or don't have access to nature? Absolutely.
Slow living isn't about escaping to the countryside, though that's lovely too. It's about cultivating slowness in your inner world. That might look like sipping tea by a window, journaling in a cafe, walking without your phone, or simply lighting a candle and breathing deeply. You can live slowly, even in the middle of a city, by being fully present wherever you are.
Number 3, how do I create stillness when my mind is racing with anxiety and to-do lists? I can relate to this question 100%.
So for me, I started small. Even 30 seconds of intentional breathing can begin to shift your nervous system. Write things down to get them out of your head. Try grounding practices like touching something textured, listening to nature sounds, or simply noticing your feet on the ground. Stillness doesn't mean your thoughts stop. It means you stop running from them.
Number 4, how do I know I'm actually slowing down or just numbing out with distractions? And this is such an important question.
Slowing down invites us to feel more, not less. Numbing usually feels like disconnecting, scrolling endlessly, zoning out, avoiding. Slowness, on the other hand, helps you tune in. Ask yourself, do I feel more aware, more grounded, more connected? If so, you're probably on the path of slow living, not avoidance.
Number 5, what are some ways to live more meaningfully when I feel lost or unsure what matters to me? I would say start by noticing what brings you peace, even if it's just for a moment.
What makes your heart exhale? A quiet morning? A good book? Writing? Time with animals? Nature? Or prayer? For me, it was all of those things, and also continually reminding myself to live in the day, and that I didn't have to figure everything out all at once. Often, The things that matter most aren't loud. They're quiet and easily overlooked. Begin there. Let those gentle moments guide you back to yourself.
Number 6. What do you do when slowing down brings up emotions and thoughts you've been avoiding? This is perhaps the most powerful part of slow living, at least for me.
And sometimes that means sitting with sadness, fear, or past wounds. Personally, those types of emotions have not always been easy for me either, but they are so important to acknowledge and so healing when we are able to process them. When those emotions arise, I try to meet them with compassion. I journal, I cry, and I pray. I talk to someone I trust if needed, so I don't have to go through it alone. Slowness gives you the space to heal, not just cope.
Number 7. How do I let go of the guilt that comes with resting or doing less? So, guilt is often a sign that we've been conditioned to tie our worth into success and productivity.
I used to feel the same way, and sometimes I admit that I still do. Although it's a lot easier for me today to rest with a sense of contentment. Whenever guilt creeps in for not doing enough, I smile to myself and say, nope, taking care of my body, mind, and spirit is essential for me to offer the best of myself to others. Rest is not a reward. It's a right. I also remind myself, I am not a machine. I'm a living, breathing human being. And just like the seasons, I'm allowed to slow down, to pause, to be still.
8. How do I talk to friends or family who don't understand my choice to live more slowly? And this can be tricky.
Not everyone will understand, and that's okay. You don't need to convince them. Just live your truth with kindness. Sometimes the most powerful way to communicate your values is by embodying them. Calmly, peacefully, consistently. Over time, people may become curious, or they may not. But either way, your path is yours to walk.
Number 9. Is it possible to live slowly and still be ambitious or pursue big goals? Definitely.
Slow living doesn't mean giving up your dreams. It means pursuing them with presence and intention. I've personally found that when I stopped rushing, I actually made more meaningful progress. I was clearer, more focused, and more aligned with what I truly wanted, and not just what I thought I should want. Like returning to my writing and creating content like this. Also, going even more deeply into my spirituality and finding joy in taking care of pets.
And number 10. How do you live slow when you work a full-time job? And this is probably the most asked question.
When you're working full-time, slowing down doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job, especially if it's one that brings you fulfillment. And for some of us, we may not be in a situation where we can quit our job, or we really need to plan it out like I had to, and be prepared to make some sacrifices. Even though my recent personal journey involves stepping away from the hustle of a very fast-paced and stressful full-time job, I still continue to have daily responsibilities to my family and my community that are sometimes more fast-paced than I'd like. Slow living simply means reclaiming little moments of our day. A slower breakfast, for example. A mindful walk on your break. turning off notifications. Now, that was a big one for me. This gave me some mental space when my life was in rush mode. Even in a busy job, we can shift how we move through time by bringing more awareness and gentleness into each moment. This past year has taught me that slow living isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing less of what drains me and more of what nourishes me. If this video resonated, I'd love to hear from you. What questions do you have about slowing down? What's been working or challenging for you? Let me know in the comments so I can answer more of your beautiful questions in future videos. Take good care, and here's another video YouTube thinks you'll like.